The world ending, asteroids nearly missing Earth, robots possibly taking over, a lot of prophecies on the impending apocalypse that's supposed to be just around the corner. And speaking of prophecies, I was really curious as to what many consider the greatest prophet, the greatest seer of all time, Nostradamus, has to say about this whole thing. Now, if you didn't know, Nostradamus was a French-born physician who believed he had a psychic awakening. He began to practice the occult and make predictions of the future, which he published in the Prophecies. It is said that he would spend hours in his study at night meditating in front of a bowl filled with water and herbs. The meditation would bring on a trance and possibly visions of the future. To some, he was just a regular guy who wrote some incredibly vague comments, but others have credited him with predicting the French Revolution, the rise of Napoleon and Hitler, the development of the atomic bomb, and the September 11th terrorist attacks. And regardless if you believe he's Nostradamus, the famous prophet with real powers that can see into the future, or just simply Nostradamus, this is still an interesting topic, so let's talk about it. Here are some of the most shocking Nostradamus prophecies for 2017. The first prediction made by Nostradamus is something that has to do with Italy. Nostradamus claims that Italy will soon face financial difficulties, which will lead to rising unemployment and unpaid loans, eventually bringing about a financial crisis that will be felt by most European countries. This seems like a highly likely possibility because the current situation in Italy is pretty ugly already. The country is already experiencing a banking crisis due to the Italian referendum and Matteo Renzi's decision to resign. Non-performing loans that borrowers are not paying off as agreed, but which have not yet been written off by the banks, have been on the rise the past couple years. At this point, 18% of all outstanding loans in Italy are non-performing. Next is a prophecy that is directly related to us Americans. Nostradamus mentioned the current superpower, which is thought to be referring to the United States. It says that the US will be more and more ungovernable and unable to take care of the world. Some of the growing factors that will support the US's incompetence are political corruption, growing inequality, globalization of corporate and financial elites, and large-scale social system failures. The third prophecy is believed by many to speak of Donald Trump himself. In Nostradamus' prophecy, he writes, "The false trumpet concealing madness will cause Byzantium to change its laws. From Egypt there will go forth a man who wants the edict withdrawn, changing money and standards." If the trumpet Nostradamus was referring to is indeed Donald Trump, then according to the prophecy, a lot of people believe that the US president will go mad and try to intervene in the refugee situation in Eastern Europe, aka modern-day Byzantium. In Nostradamus' next prophecy, he writes, "The trumpet shakes with great discord. An agreement broken, lifting the face to heaven. The bloody mouth will swim with blood. The face anointed with milk and honey lies on the ground." This is apparently a prophecy about World War III. Again, if the trumpet is Trump, then Donald Trump is mentioned here and seems to be angry about something. The milk and honey that the prediction speaks about often refers to Israel. And since all of the Bible's end times are centered on Israel, it makes sense that this could be a prediction about the Third World War that ends everything. Next up is the prediction of a war regarding global warming, maybe. This is probably one of the most terrifying predictions, and it speaks of a hot war over global warming and the lack of resources, as well as great threats from terrorists and bioattacks. When it comes to debates about global warming, there has already been a lot of protests and arguments regarding the hot topic. It seems that 2017 may prove to be a very hard year for the global community to reduce global warming, as well as let the world see what kind of climate situation we are in right now. Although we may not notice a big year-to-year difference in regards to the temperature of our planet, the changes we've experienced in the last 100 years are actually very dramatic. NASA has recently released a time-lapse video that allows us to see just that, and it's one of the most terrifying things ever. Prophecy number 6 states that there will be a truce between Russia and Ukraine, but the US will oppose the truce and refuse to give a supporting hand. Apparently, the truce will be pushed forward anyway due to the support of other countries in Europe. And finally, one of the biggest prophecies of 2017 is that North Korea and South Korea will merge, and Kim Jong-un will be dethroned and seeking refuge in Russia. Kim Jong-un has ruled over North Korea since December 17th, 2001, and has caused huge international crises such as missile testing. So if this does come true, and if North and South Korea do finally merge, we will once again see a unified Korea, and the people living under the suppression of Kim dictator will be set free. We don't know if this will happen, but we do know that Kim Jong-un has been a hot topic recently because of all his missile tests, executing people with anti-aircraft guns, using a prostitute to kill his half-brother in a Malaysian airport while wearing a LOL shirt. That's definitely a prophecy I personally would love to see come true. And again, like I mentioned, guys, a lot of people consider Nostradamus' prediction extremely vague, and many think that his prophecies that have supposedly come true are just complete misinterpretations. It's just people interpreting his words to fit a certain situation or event that really has no association at all. Personally, I do believe there are people who can see into the future, and in the last video, we talked about the CIA even training people to do just that. Also, there are a lot of scientists out there who believe the past, present, and future future exist simultaneously. So maybe there is a way to see into the past and also into the future. I don't know. And I really wish prophets would write things that are really easy to understand. Like, hey guys, yeah, on October 20th, 2022, you're going to the moon and the moon's going to blow up. But again, let's say somebody can see into the future. How do we know they're able to see it so clearly? Maybe they're just getting like really vague visions. Like Nostradamus is indeed talking about Trump, but literally he's getting a vision of a trumpet. So I don't know. I guess we'll have to see whether all this comes true in the near future. But let me know in the comments, do you believe that people can see into the future? Do you believe seers are real? There are people with disability. Also, do you believe in the Nostradamus prophecies? All right, guys, thank you all so much for watching this video. I'll see you. Hey guys, what's up? It's Mikey Chen. As you know, there has been a lot of talk about the world ending, asteroids nearly missing Earth, robots possibly taking over, a lot of prophecies on the impending apocalypse that's supposed to be just around the corner. And speaking of prophecies, I was really curious as to what many consider the greatest prophet, the greatest seer of all time, Nostradamus, has to say about this whole thing. Now, if you didn't know, Nostradamus was a French-born physician who believed he had a psychic awakening. He began to practice the occult and make predictions of the future, which he published in the Prophecies. It is said that he would spend hours in his study at night meditating in front of a bowl filled with water and herbs. The meditation would bring on a trance and possibly visions of the future. To some, he was just a regular guy who wrote some incredibly vague comments, but others have credited him with predicting the French Revolution, the rise of Napoleon and Hitler, the development of the